All right, so today's lesson is on exponential functions. I'm just going to go right into it. The general formula for this is f of x equals a times b raised to the x plus c. All right, so what I'm going to go over today is the basic stuff that you need to know for the exam. All right, a makes the graph go up and down, or up or down faster. All right, and depending on what the value is, and I will show you that in just a moment, but either goes up fast or goes down fast. All right, so the graph will always go through the points 0, comma a plus c, and that all depends on what a and c are. All right, and then 1, comma a times b plus c, and again it all depends on what these values are. All right, b tells you which way the graph is going. So for instance, if b is less than 1, like a small number, then you're going to have a exponential decay, and this is something you guys have seen on that quiz. If b is greater than 1, then it's going to be an exponential growth, so it's going to go rise up to the right. All right, so this one's going to fall down to the right, this is going to rise up to the right. C, it moves the graph up or down. All right, C is your asymptote, as in it can't go past that. Last time you guys saw that this arrow was getting really close to 0. 0 was the asymptote. All right, in this case, if you have a C number, that C value is going to be your asymptote, and this is what that value is going to look like. All right, so let me show you kind of what it looks like. So for instance, here we have this equation, which is the same thing here. If I said b was going to be less than 1, it's going to be a decay, right? So it's going down to the right. If it's bigger than 1, it's going to be a positive growth, right? It's going to go up to the right. All right, if you guys see that one more time, if b is less than 1, right, 0.45, that's less than 1, it's a decay. If it's up greater than 1, it's going to be a growth, exponential growth. All right, so let's just leave it at 2 or 2.1, and let's change the a. So here, notice I told you that depending on what the number is, it's going to either rise up faster or go down faster, right? So right now it's an exponential growth, right? So if we increase this, you see that it rises up faster, right? Also, the y-intercept also changes, gets bigger and bigger, as in the y value gets bigger and bigger. All right, hope you guys can see that. Let's go back. Let's just keep it down to maybe, let's just do like 1 point something. All right, the c value changes the horizontal asymptote, right? So right now it's at 0. So right now it looks like it's touching 0, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to get really close to 0. All right. All right, so if we change this and said like minus or plus whatever, you can see the asymptote is getting higher and higher, right? If we go down minus a c value, it gets lower and lower. All right, and again, that will change up the a plus c and then a times b plus c. All right, so please take note of that. All right, so in the graph, what you need to do when you graph these functions are graph the asymptote, graph the y-intercept, and then graph the point 1 comma something. And all that is, this is going to be your y-intercept, this is going to be your 1 comma something, and then this is going to be your asymptote. All right, so let's look at an example problem. All right, so here's an example of an exponential function. F of x equals 3 times 2 raised to the x minus 1. And when you guys do the points and stuff, please note that this right here is not this. All right, you cannot multiply these two and then raise it to the x. Do not do that. All right, it's always 2 raised to the x and then you multiply by the 3. All right, so anyways, we need 3 things in order to graph this function. The asymptote y equals, right, and if you look back, the c value is what our asymptote is. So the c value is our asymptote, so y equals -1. So what I'm going to do is draw a dotted line. All right, bear with me, this is a little difficult. Across -1. All right, y equals -1. So that means that the graph cannot go past this dotted line. All right, we need to find the point 0 something, right? And this is your y-intercept. All right. So we're going to plug in f of 0 equals 3 times 2 to the 0 minus 1. And again, anything to the 0 power is going to be 1. So it's 3 times 1 minus 1, which is 2. So our y-intercept is 0, 2. So I'm going to plot that 0, 2. It's going to go through this, right? The next point, f of 1. All right, so we're going to plug that in for x. So it's 3, 2 to the first power minus 1, and that equals 3 times 2. Again, do the inside first, the exponent first. So 3 times 2 minus 1. And hold on one second. That's going to give us 6 minus 1, which is 5. So our point 1 comma 5 is the next thing we have to plot. So 1. So this is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the reason why I had you plot 1 is because now, if you didn't already know, this graph is actually going up towards the right, as in it's going to go to an exponential growth. All right, and you guys can draw that way better than I can, but this is what you guys need. These three things is very important right here. This right here, you guys need that in order to graph it and see what's going on. So here's the thing. This might be easy. You can actually see this in the graph. If you put this into the calculator, you can see what it looks like, right? But these are the information that you need to know in order to answer some of the questions, as in they're not going to ask you just graph it. They're going to ask you, what is the asymptote? How do you find the asymptote? How do you find these points? If these points are this, what do you know about the function? Vice versa, all right? It's not going to be that simple. You need to know the ins and outs of this right here. All right, you guys need to memorize this stuff. Other than that, that's about it for exponential functions. There are word problems that you guys will come across, but if you guys understand the function itself, you guys should be fine. All right, in class we'll do some practice problems together, and yeah, that's it. All right, take notes on this, write all this stuff down, and we'll go over more stuff in class.